In ancient Athens, the philosopher Diogenes lived in a barrel, owning nothing but his freedom. When Alexander the Great offered him anything, Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." Alexander, who commanded armies and ruled empires, later admitted, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." Why would the most powerful man envy a homeless philosopher? Because Diogenes possessed complete sovereignty over his own life, something wealth and power couldn't buy. History reveals a pattern. The greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders often shared one trait: embracing solitude. Modern society treats this as a flaw, urging everyone toward relationships and marriage. But what if that advice is a trap? What if the very thing we're told to avoid, being alone, is the ultimate source of power? Nietzsche's thought experiment of eternal recurrence asks, if you had to live your exact life forever, would you choose it? Most recoil in horror because they're living someone else's script. But the man who can say, yes, repeatedly has built a life on his own terms. Nietzsche's Übermensch isn't a superhero. It's someone who creates his own values, beyond society's categories. This demands solitude, not loneliness, but the self-chosen space where vision is undiluted. Arthur Schopenhauer lived unmarried, keeping a precise routine of writing, walking, and reading. He famously said, "A man can be himself only so long as he is alone." Marriage, he argued, demands compromise where greatness requires conviction. The single man's energy flows entirely into creation and self-mastery, not into emotional negotiation. History supports this. Napoleon didn't win battles by seeking Josephine's approval. Einstein didn't revolutionize physics by prioritizing date nights. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome and produced timeless wisdom from private meditations, not from domestic life. The married man constantly manages another's emotional world. The single man answers only to himself. Socrates endured a difficult wife, saying it trained him to tolerate anyone, but notice, he didn't claim it made him happier. The Stoics taught that peace comes from within, not from managing another's moods. Epictetus warned against trying to control what's outside your power, something marriage violates daily. Existentialists like Sartre and Camus saw freedom as both a burden and a gift. Most flee from the weight of total choice into the comfortable cage of marriage. But authentic existence comes from creating identity moment by moment, without apology. Poets like Emily Dickinson and thinkers like Thoreau refused society's definitions, choosing solitude as a laboratory for self-discovery. Carl Jung dismantled the romantic myth of a missing piece. Wholeness isn't found in another person. It's achieved by integrating all parts of yourself. In relationships, men often project their unexpressed emotional side onto their partners, fragmenting themselves. The man who lives alone must confront his shadow directly, creating genuine wholeness. Strategically, marriage introduces liabilities. Machiavelli noted that the most effective operators maintain opacity, keeping motives hidden and movements flexible. Marriage demands transparency, making a man's weak points obvious. The single man can pivot instantly, take risks freely, and remain unpredictable because his decisions aren't filtered through another's needs. Figures like Florence Nightingale recognized that their missions required complete freedom of movement and focus, things marriage would dilute. Ayn Rand's characters embodied uncompromising vision, living for their own sake. This isn't selfishness, it's clarity. The greatest minds often embraced chosen solitude not from bitterness, but because they loved truth, creation, and purpose more than comfort. Schopenhauer, Tesla, Dickinson, and Woolf all understood that domestic life divides attention, while solitude concentrates it. Tesla put it plainly, no thrill matches seeing a creation of the mind unfold to success, something requiring total dedication, both waking and dreaming. Society will call the solitary man selfish, incomplete, or lonely. Let them. While others negotiate their dreams into acceptability, he builds empires from undivided attention. While they search for their other half, he discovers he was always whole. While they manage another's emotions, he communes with forces they cannot perceive. This path is not easy. It trades the comfort of companionship for the power of self-ownership. But it also offers the rare chance to become exactly who you were meant to be, without compromise or permission. The solitary man can direct every ounce of his potential toward creation, perhaps producing something that outlasts him. Nietzsche said, "One must have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." Marriage, by design, tames chaos into stability. Stability is beautiful, but it's not the soil where dancing stars are born. The man who can stand in the void without needing a hand to hold is the man who can create meaning from nothing. Jung reminded us, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. That journey is not a group project. It can't be negotiated. It's work done alone, in solitude's laboratory, through direct engagement with your own psyche. The masses may never understand, but history remembers those who chose creation over compromise, sovereignty over safety. The choice is yours. Walk the well-worn path of companionship and compromise, or take the harder road of chosen solitude. The first offers comfort and applause. The second offers complete ownership of your life, and the possibility of greatness.